What is going on, guys? It's your girl cpositivista. First and foremost, I want to welcome you all to this brand new podcast. This podcast is essentially for care experienced people, anyone who has spent time in care, anyone who has grown up in the system, anyone who is currently being looked after by the local authorities. This podcast is for you. This podcast is a place that you can come to and feel safe. You can come to and utilize your voice and share your story. I don't want this place to be a place of negativity. And I do understand that a lot of us have got a lot of tough and painful stories, and of course we can share that. However, I really want to highlight the positive stories. I want to highlight the positive things that caregivers are doing. I don't want people to only think of Tracy Beaker when they first hear about a care experienced person. When they first hear care, I don't want people to think Tracy Beaker. I want people to think so many different names, and maybe your name or maybe my name. And that's essentially what I want to do. I want people to mind their thoughts when it comes to care experienced young people. I am a firm believer of positive thoughts attracting positive things. I feel like if there's more stories, if there's more positive stories about careleavers, and if there's more positive articles about careleavers, then people's perspectives would change about careleavers. And it's almost like a ripple effect. It's like the more positive things you share about careleavers, the more people would think positively about careleavers, and the more people would associate careleavers with it not being a bad thing, and with it not being a pitiful thing, but for it to be what it is. And what it is that it's children who have been looked after by the local authorities. These children are being looked after just like you would be looked after by your mom and your dad. No one would pity you for being looked after by your mom and your dad, because they're your mom and your dad. However, when you've been looked after by the system, or you've been looked after by the government, within the system, it's almost like a sad thing or a pitiful thing. Well, what about the children who are actually being looked after because they can't be looked after at home? How about the children who are being neglected in their homes? So that's essentially the reason for this podcast. This podcast is a place for us to have these open and honest conversations about children in care, and about the system, and about young people and their rights. To be honest, I did actually grow up listening to Tracy Beaker, and if there's one thing that I really did take away from watching Tracy Beaker was the theme song. And it was literally the beginning part where it says, I can make my world come true, my world come true. And it's like, I can literally make my world come true. It's okay to have dreams, and it's okay to have aspirations, whether or not you're a caregiver. I believe that dreams are not limited as to who can have it and who's allowed to have it. As long as you have the breath of life, you're allowed to dream. And that's one thing that I took away, when growing up and watching Tracy Beaker. So a little bit about myself. I am a caregiver, a proud caregiver. I am a motivational speaker, youth advisor. I am a master's student studying digital marketing. I create content on YouTube, and I definitely share some stuff for careleavers there as well, so you can check it out. It's cpositivista on YouTube. I'm passionate about a lot of things. Some people describe me as an activist. but I describe myself as a humanitarian. I describe myself as someone who is willing to use their voice. However, I will share my story as time goes by. I'm not here trying to big up myself and talk about myself per se. However, I'm here to really just get conversations going and hopefully make a change in any small or big capacity. I also work with a lot of charities that support careleavers, one of them being Drive Forward, another one being With a Raw, and I'm here to collaborate. I'm here to collaborate with just different organizations, and if there's one thing that I do want is to have different careleavers here coming to share their stories, coming to share their successes. I'll be giving some tips on the things that I should have known when I was in care. Also, a few things that I want to talk about is another topic I really want to touch on is homelessness, and I've also worked with this organization called Settle, and I will be talking about all these things. I will be talking about all these organizations and providing you with the details and the tips. If you guys have any tips for me as well, drop it on our social media. There's the Instagram page for this podcast, and it's called Mind Your Thoughts, and the hashtag is #MYTPodcast. So check out that Instagram page for all the updates about the podcast in general. If you also want to get in contact with me through my socials, it's cpositivista. That's on Instagram, TikTok, and also on my YouTube channel for more content. In this world, there's always someone there to stop you from achieving your goals and being the best you've got to be. So don't you think the world is ending just yet? You gotta have a dream. You gotta have a dream. Oh yes, you gotta have a dream. Na 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 na. You gotta have a dream. You gotta have a dream. Oh yes, you gotta have a dream. Na 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 na. With that note, I'll see you guys on the next podcast. There's amazing things to look forward to. I've got amazing people coming in, one of them being Rick Flo. If you don't know, get to know. And I'll see you guys on the next podcast. And yeah, this is the official launch. So we have launched, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to tune in again every Monday from 6 p.m. Peace.